G'day guys, so today we are talking about the dumbbell reverse fly. This has to be as important of an exercise as the adductor machine in my eyes, because what this exercise does is it is one of the best isolators in order to create retraction so that it fixes our posture. Because of all the amount of pressing that we are doing through our chest and above our head, we can round right off, especially when we're on our phones and on computers and all the rest of that stuff. This exercise here is a retraction exercise. Obviously isolates the middle of our back and will hopefully fix a little bit of postural issues. On top of that, it'll help us create retraction, so when we're doing our rows, and also the ability to stabilize our scapula by pulling our shoulder blades back and down. I cannot recommend this exercise highly enough. However, just like all exercises, there are a few things that we need to make sure that we are covering before we go ahead and just dive right in. So, that being said, the dumbbell reverse fly. There are two ways you can do this, okay? Number one is with our hands in a neutral position like so, and this is going to really target those rhomboids and our traps. Number two is that we can actually turn our hands into a pronated position just like so, and this will target our rear delts. Why is it so different? Well, we're still gonna, okay, we'll start that again. With the pronated grip, you're still going to get those rhomboids and traps involved. However, you're going to feel your rear delts come absolutely alive when they're in this position. When you're in a neutral position, not so much. So, where can both slot in order to get the most bang for your buck out of this particular exercise? Well, obviously, if you want to develop and grow those rear delts, then by all means, turn your hands in a pronated grip. However, if you say you're struggling to get retraction, or you're just trying to build out those traps and those rhomboids, by all means, keep your hands in a neutral position. Again, in the neutral position, you're still going to get that rear delt activation, but you're probably not getting the most bang for your buck out of that. So, let's dive into the exercise. Because it is a free weight exercise, we need to make sure that we shore up our stability, our legs for strong stability, and also a strong platform to fly from. And then obviously we need to work on our shoulder blades, because that is our predominant mover when it comes to this particular exercise. So first things first, how we want to bend over. Because we are looking to create as much of this motion as possible, okay, which is what we call retraction. We are looking to be right in and over top of the dumbbells. So, what we want to do is we want to screw our feet into the ground. We want to push our knees out and allow ourselves to fall into this position here. You can see now that my arms are nice and straight to the ground, and we're coming up, and we're going to target the upper portion of our back. All right. We can find ourselves a little bit vulnerable if we are not, if we're in, say, a tighter position with our knees. You can see that my quads are wanting to push into my stomach, which then will round me off and potentially not get as much of a retraction as we would desire. So, first things first, we want to screw our feet in, knees go out, allow our stomach to fall in, and then obviously with our stomach muscles, we're going to brace whilst we do the exercise. Right, let's talk about our retraction and what we're going to stabilize and have switched on, or what we're looking for. Because we are working minor muscles, so rhomboids, traps are friggin' huge, but the middle of our traps can be hard to target, and also our rear delts. We want to make sure that we have the utmost control over this exercise, which would suggest that potentially using a lighter load in order to really fine-tune and hone in on those muscles would be a great starting point, and then you can move into some heavier loads after that, which is why I have the 20-pound dumbbells. So, because it's a retraction exercise, it's a very isolated exercise in the middle of our back. We want to make sure that we're pulling our scapula back and down, and we're in this position here. Obviously, as I pull my scapula back and down, we can open up our thoracic extension, which could bunch up our lower back. If that's the case, or because it's the case, we still want to brace and pull that top rib down, or that bottom rib down, sorry, into our top of our pelvis, and block right up and keep ourselves nice and sturdy, so that way then we can fly or reverse fly from a stable base. And a strong, stable base will create more tension. This leads me into our acronym, STEP. We need to make sure that every time we perform this exercise that we are following our acronym, and that is stability for the S, T, tension, E, execution, and then P, we track our performance. So our stability will come from the shoulder blades back and down. Our tension is going to come in the form of, well, wherever it is that we're targeting. So we'll run through the rear delts with a pronated grip, then we'll run through a neutral grip. So if I am in this position here, you can see that my arm, all the weight wants to pull me out of that position. We're going to pull back and down, and I'm actually going to start slightly outside the line of my legs, because what happens is that when we get to this point here, gravity is no longer in effect, okay? So here, we're kind of gravity-less. It's a lie, but there's no real working tension on the muscle, is probably a much better way to say it. So you'll see people come in and there's not much going on from about this position to here, okay? And that's an eternity when it comes to lifting weights, because if we're losing tension here, then we've probably lost tension throughout the entire lift. And if we keep losing tension, we're not going to get the accumulation of fatigue through the muscle that we're longingly desired to cause growth. So we're going to start slightly out. Now here we're going to pull our shoulder blades back and down, and we're going to come out nice and wide and back down and into that position there. So again, out wide, back down, out wide, back down. Now, a few common mistakes people find themselves doing is that they start to, well, they use this point as a momentum gatherer. So they'll come all the way in and then whoop, and throw it all the way out. Okay, so they use that as a momentum gatherer, and you can also see when I am doing this exercise that I am leveraging off my lower back, and they start looking up. Okay, so that's going to put a lot of load through your lower back, and because of the momentum, you're going to lose tension. Again, back to the concept that tension lost and accumulated, a loss of tension will result in probably lack of gains. So this takes us into execution. We want to make sure that when we're doing this exercise that we're executing the first rep just like our last rep. We're going to start just on the line of our legs, if not outside the line of our legs. Shoulder blades back and down. We're going to come out and down, out and down. Now, good indication that the weight might be too heavy is that you'll naturally get this inward swing, and you can't pause or stop at the desired position, which is in line with our legs. Also, you won't be able to hold and pause at the top. So we'll go again, and what we are aiming to do is make sure that we can hold and pause, back down, or hold and pause, back down. That probably wasn't a great example, but we are looking to create that tension and pause at the top. Pause, top, pause, top. Okay, instead of and getting that full retraction as well, so just swinging it up and back down into position. Right, so that's our pronated grip. Same concept with our neutral grip, and then we're going to come out, squeeze, pause, and you're going to feel this one a great deal more through the middle of your back versus the pronated grip, where you're going to feel this a lot more through your rear delts. So back and down. You'll feel that one through here-ish, and then obviously neutral right in the middle of the back. And that there, team, is how you want to go about doing your reverse dumbbell flies. Make sure that you're stopping in line with your legs, coming up as far as you can. Squeeze the middle of your back, little pause at the top. Bring it back down and don't let it swing right into the middle. We're pausing, we're stopping here, coming back out again. Keep that tension on, stability, tension, execution, performance, and that's a rear delt fly.